How's it going, Rebels? I'm Burning with ASG, welcome back to the channel. Now this is Black Ops, but I promise you, this video and everything about it is strictly Vega. Now check this out, we've got a lot to go over and a little bit of time, so I'm going to make this quick, fast, and precise. So, for those of you who missed it, yesterday we did the Battle Vortex Roundtable for Vega Conflict. We went over a whole lot, spent an entire hour going over new details, new information. Link down in the description if you missed it and you want to check it out. Trust me, you will learn so much about this game. Just me sitting there, I've learned some massive amounts of things to come, and I want to go over them, just real tidbits of my own thoughts and opinions of a lot of the things that we went over. First off, I want to start with, this week is a VSEC weekend. There's been a bit of confusion, like mentioned on the forums, about what's going to be going on, what's the schedule. There's been ideas of events and things like that. Well, here's the details. This week, VSEC weekend. Basically, just going to have some VSECs flying around, no special prizes, but it's going to be going on all weekend long, up until Monday. Next weekend, however, we've got a brand new event called Conspiracy. That's right, whole new event. Gonna have some information on that as well, along with a few pictures. Obviously, I can't have everything about Black Ops. The week after that, although, is another VSEC weekend. I like this because we get a little bit of a break for refits, repairs, and even to start new ship builds. We haven't really had any time for any testing, any changes to the fleets that we've had, because it's just been constant building, and the only exception to that would be the corners, but even they are really just being overwhelmed by how many events have been coming our way. Don't get me wrong, I found them to be very fun, and I'm glad that they're not just stopping everything. We are still having something come our way, but they're just a little bit of a breather. Now, on to the next thing. As far as the event Conspiracy, we've got a lot of stuff coming our way, but we only have one thing confirmed at the moment: a new ISC carrier. Yeah, I'm not gonna get confused with Iron Core, my bad, guys. One time that happened. One time. Okay, so ISC carrier, okay, it looks weird. I'm not gonna say it looks bad or it looks ugly. It just looks weird because it kind of looks like, well, a yellow version of the blue energy squadrons. You know what I mean? That little cross-looking thing. It kind of looks like a giant yellow version of that. So I'm not gonna say it looks bad. It just looks unusual. Stat-wise, it might be kind of pliable. It's a little bit faster than the Valkyrie, but a little bit slower than the Ragnarok. So it's kind of like that middle ground. As far as its ability field, it's going to come with an ion field, just like the Valhalla. I've heard a lot of thoughts and opinions on what the players intend to do with it, and well, I don't really think I'm going to be doing much with it. I'll probably build one or two, just have a little bit of fun and test it out. But because it does have that ion field, it could become very pliable, especially on top of Dreads. So there is always a possibility of it finding its useful nature in that whole triangle of rock, paper, scissors, Vega conflict. Sure, with that being said, let's move on to some other interesting little things that have popped up over the past couple days. This new tech that could be either coming out the Conspiracy event or possibly another event that's going to be in about 4 weeks after the Great Rebalance. Now, one of them looks, well, it's going to be some kind of projectile weapon. We're not sure if it's going to be base related or ship related, but this thing looks pretty badass. I mean, there's not much you can tell based from the picture alone, and it could be, this might not even be added. It could simply be one of those floating rumors, but I hope so. This thing looks pretty awesome, and we don't really have any great projectile weapons, I mean, as far as FEF. Now, we do have a couple for fleet versus base, and even a few, well, several that are fairly good for PvE, but when it comes to PvP, I just don't feel like there's a really good pliable one. Even the Gemini and the Wave Drivers, while they're really good for going up against Vegas, they don't do so well when actually going up against real players, which is a big issue when it comes to their DPS being rather lower than their energy and explosive based counterparts. So I'm really hoping that this particular weapon outshines in that department and in that field. We need a really good projectile based weapon to bring it up to par with its counterparts like the Echo Rays, Aurora Beams, and the Vector Torpedoes. There's just not really anything that will really match them when it comes to that field. Now, another new weapon that has come to light appears to be another type of Arister-based weapon, or at least it's the same class. Just like the projectile-based weapon, there's not much about this one other than the picture itself, but based on it, it looks like it's going to have a bigger spread. It's going to be something not really like the shotgun energy-based weapon, but it's definitely going to have some kind of a spread. Or it could be, I could be completely wrong. It just looks so much like the Aristers. Now, what do you guys think about this one? I'm honestly kind of dumbfounded. I'm not sure which direction this one might go, so I'm just going to leave this one up into the wind until we get more information, but it still looks pretty damn cool to me. Now, next I want to actually go switch over from weapons over into something that the carrier, the ISC carrier, might be equipped with. Check this thing out. A lot of people have been speculating that this is going to be a ship, but I really think this is going to be a new type of squadron. It looks pretty badass. From the color, we can tell it's going to be an energy base, so who knows, it may actually have a little bit more range, or it could be an energy based squadron that has more armor and can stand a few more hits compared to the one that we have now. So it's a pretty good bet that this might be in the event as well. Although I have heard a few mixed opinions on whether or not we do need more squadrons. Now, the thought has crossed my mind a little bit, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, but I don't really think it's something that needs to be focused on as strong as it would. I would prefer to see an extra slot for the different types of ability fields on the carriers themselves than having multiple types of squadrons. Now, that might just be one man's opinion, but I might not be alone on that. What do you guys think? Would you rather have different types of squadrons, or would you rather have a new slot on the carriers that allows you to switch out their ability fields? Personally, I'm rather for the latter. Now, last but certainly not least is something, honestly, I do not even know what to make of it. There's been a lot of speculation because this is one of the cooler looking new weapons. Once again, we don't know if it's going to primarily be for ships or base, but clearly it's going to be an energy oriented weapon. So that's still pretty good because I do like energy weapons, but I hope this is for base. We've got a pretty good amount of them for ships, but I want to see a few more base weapons because I feel like our ship's getting a little too much love lately, and our bases need a little bit of love, especially after this rebalance, because it's not only going to affect our ships, it's going to affect our bases as well. So having a few extra weapons for our base will never be a bad thing. Alright, I want to get into something that a lot of people might not have thought of. The Great Rebalance is going to be coming towards the end of March. I believe it's going to be right after the conspiracy event. But here's something that came up during the roundtable discussion. I love the fact that they're no longer going to be any kind of auto fleets, at least probably for the first month or so. I'm sure Manny and a lot of the others are going to come up with some brilliant tactics to be able to get them back into the game, but I'm at least glad that they won't work for a little while. I don't know why, but I've always been a bigger fan of players who are able to actually fly their fleets. Now, I do have some respect for someone who has actually taken the time and gone out and tested their theories, refitted them, changed them, and actually perfected them. It's come to a point where you really have to put a lot of work and effort into coming up with the really good types of auto fleets to hit 35s, 40s, and I've even seen a couple that would do 45s as well. So it does take some effort, so I have to give them credit, but I don't like them. It's simply for the fact that you can build a whole bunch of auto fleets and get just as much, where a player who has actually spent time and effort acquiring skill. Now, that's really a topic for a whole nother video, but I could go on for about another 20 minutes about auto fleets and my dislike about them, but I'm not going to. Don't worry, please don't leave yet. Got a couple more things to go over. So just keep it in mind, if you do have any auto fleets after the Great Rebalance, they will not work anymore. Just something to keep in mind. Now here's a rumor that I actually am glad turned out to be true. It's not been confirmed, or it wasn't confirmed until a few days ago on the forums. If I'm not mistaken, it was the forums. It was either a forum or Facebook, but it was confirmed that there's going to be an event called Civil War. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Iron Man versus Cap. Totally team Iron Man. Shut up, I don't care. I love Iron Man. So the whole idea is going to either be Vega versus Vega, and it's either going to be us versus, well, us. The whole concept is still being worked out from my understanding, but it sounds pretty cool. I would love to have a big lore and story, something to go along with this. Either some kind of story where, if it is going to be Vega versus Vega, have it to where we can choose sides or something, just kind of like how you did with Lars versus that other dude. Have it where we can be a participant, have story, have lore, just make a big event out of it, just like they're doing with the movie, where there's a lot of hype and everything. Bring us into this, make us really want to be a part of this event, especially if you're going to give it a title like Civil War. That is a badass title, no matter what you put it on. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this up with one last little topic, and I think this is one a lot of you will find very interesting. Something that came up during the discussion of the roundtable was also the tax system. One thing we really want to see change to it is, well, we want it to be a little bit more accurate, and I'm really hoping this one drives home, which is why I'm bringing it up again, because the more we talk about it, the bigger chance it has to change. You ever notice when you use the tax system, sometimes it chooses something that's all the way on the other side of the sector? Yeah, real big pain in the butt, especially for those of us who just don't have a lot of time, or we're just trying to farm a little bit, go to work, get off, lunchtime, late break, something like that, and we just got a little bit of time. Well, the idea of this is either to have it to where it will cycle through any of the tags you have. That way you can choose the one closest to you, or if it's selected one that's about to exit the sector, you know that there's at least another one that you could probably get to before that one. So it's something convenient that I want to get spread around. So keep that thought in mind. Hopefully we'll see it in a future update. I forgot one little thing real quick, just stay with me one more time. The black market. There's rumors starting to go around thanks to the round table. We got a little bit of information from Lex about a possible change coming to the black market. What it's going to be, we have no idea, but I'm really hoping they do an entire overhaul and we don't have another system like our metals that becomes so completely, well, I won't say useless, but a system that we don't really care about. I want to see the black market useful. I want to see it active. I want players to talk about it. We use it, but we don't really use it as much as I want to see us use it. I see it as something that could be very, very valuable. And one thing that's possibly going to be coming to it is they're going to have specific, or I guess you could say a higher percentage chance of certain types of cores and things for the Mark system. So we already have core boxes in the black market, but now we could be getting something a little bit more specific, which honestly, that would be way better than what we already have in those. Most of the weapons, most of us don't even take a second look at those things. They're cool, it was a great idea when it first came out, but now it's an obsolete thing that we just don't even worry about, that I would like to see reworked and changed. So, check this out. You guys are doing a great job in my opinion, and I hope you guys keep on keeping on. gamers, let me know what you think of down in the comments. As always, burning out. Oh, by the way, hope you enjoyed the gameplay. We did lose, but it was really fun. And I did pretty kick-ass with this shotgun. Like, okay, here's the thing about the shotgun. When you ADS, it becomes slugs. But when you're just hip-firing, it's got a wide spread. So I just, I'm not usually shotgun. Most of my gameplay is either SMG or assault. So this was just something fun to throw in there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, let me know, and I'll throw a little bit more Vega and Black Ops combination together. Alright, Rebels. Laters.